no, what we do echoes into eternity. What you do, good and bad, affects the creator of the universe. Think about that. Think about how much dignity is given to your and my actions when we say that what we do affects God. You see, I think that this idea of human depravity, this idea of human sin, this is not a popular idea in many trains of thought. When you think about all the various schools of thought, almost all of them, from religious standpoints and even from secular standpoints, they basically teach that humanity is essentially good. We are essentially good. We aren't incidentally good. We aren't partially good. We're essentially good. And eventually, at some point, we either corrupt each other or something comes along and we make mistakes and we're not perfect, but essentially we're good. Take a look at every major religious system in the world, and essentially what they tell you is if you do enough good things, you can please God. You will, in fact, please God. There are those who have pleased God, and they've achieved either enlightenment of some kind, or they've achieved God's paradise of some kind, or even an atheistic standpoint. If you have good people who achieve enough good things and work together, basically we'll end up like a Star Trek-like existence where we'll speak to machines and food will pop out and there'll be no more poverty and no more hunger and no more viruses. But you see the common thread? The common thread is that we are the solution to our problems. The gospel is unique in this statement that we are the problem. We therefore cannot be the solution. We are inherently the problem. It's us. It's me. It's you. It's every human being who's ever lived. I am my own worst enemy. And yes, there's an enemy prowling around waiting to devour me. But he doesn't need a whole lot of help. I help him out just enough to sink my own ship and to sink others as well. We are the problem. This is a uniquely Christian thing to say. This is not something that other religious systems say, is that there's a fundamental heart problem. We are in a sinful condition. Yes, we might have sin. We might do sinful things in those other religious systems, but we aren't inherently sinful. There isn't a condition that besets us. But you look around and you see all the evidence. Do you need more evidence that there is a sin problem in the world than the 24-hour news cycle or Twitter? Do you need more evidence than that? I mean, one of the reasons why, look, 24-hour news is one of the worst inventions in the past 50 years. It just is. And social media isn't much further behind that in terms of the worst inventions ever. But what they do teach you is that the evidence that human beings are depraved and in need of a Savior who's not them to save them from them is all there on the news and on social media. So the evidence is there. God actually does use this stuff for something good. And it's to wake us up to our own condition. What does the cross have to say about this? Why is there a cross in the first place? The cross is there in the first place because you and I are in a sinful condition, not simply to rescue us from that sinful condition, although that's a big part of it. But the cross exists as a statement, and I think it's one we often miss. John Stott referred to this in his book, The Cross of Christ, a book I recommend every single human being read at least once in their life. John Stott points this out, and I think it's so powerful. I think he's right when he points this out. The cross, the reality of the cross is this, is that sin, human sin, is so powerful, it's so meaningful that its effects echo into eternity. In other words, your actions and my actions, our moral actions, both good and bad, and especially bad it seems, aren't just incidentally here for the blip of our existence, our 40 plus years on this earth, and then they're gone, and we just wisp away as just like grass dying in the field. No, what we do echoes into eternity. What you do, good and bad, affects the creator of the universe. Think about that. Think about how much dignity is given to your and my actions when we say that what we do affects God. The creator of everything, the one for whom and through whom and by whom all things have their existence, your actions change something in the fabric of reality and they affect the heart. of God. And in that, it's a strange compliment, isn't it? That your actions can offend him. If he was completely aloof, if he was totally separate and completely other from you and from me, your actions would have nothing to do with him. Much like if I light a match, the sun isn't threatened by it. A little flame does nothing for the majesty and the glory and the sheer immenseness of the sun. And yet for some reason, though God is infinitely greater to us than the sun is to a flame, we affect him. And the cross is historical proof that what you do matters. That is an ultimate statement of dignity. And so you can see the paradox. Human depravity, the indignified ways we act, are met with divine dignity. He actually values you so much that what you do matters to him. So much so that he sends his son to pay the price you and I deserve to pay on that cross.